Hey everybody, Norm here. Looking to talk to you about a new feature in LabVIEW 2025 Q3, which is not inherently a feature in the product itself, but it's things that we've added to enable your ability to use Docker containers to run LabVIEW software engineering based tactics when doing CI/CD workflows. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with Docker, well, I should say, for those of you familiar with Docker, give me a brief moment. I want to educate the rest of us like I needed. Dockers reside in this world between, hey, I've got everything installed on my computer, or I'm running a virtual machine that's on my computer that has everything else installed. Dockers are small, lightweight aspects like a virtual machine that have a minimal set of requirements installed on them that can usually be invoked in a totally headless way, that it's kind of, like I said, once again, a virtual machine running, but you're able to run different pieces of software that are dedicated to a smaller task. Now, LabVIEW itself has had a lot of problems trying to run inside of Docker containers because LabVIEW as a development environment was basically, and all the tools like diff and merge and even the LabVIEW command line interface expects that the desktop experience of LabVIEW is available. And when you put it inside of a Docker container, which usually has, once again, the minimal set of operating system features available to it, there's very frequently an issue with a lot of these embedded tools within LabVIEW looking for things like window managers. And oh gosh, I was just looking through the developer notes just a moment ago, and there's a lot of things that are missing in your typical Docker container. So we had to make kind of a lot of tweaks to a LabVIEW image or a LabVIEW installation to fit inside of a Docker container and not have problems when you're running, once again, things like LabVIEW compare or the command line interpreter or other things that will be like VI analyzer in an automated fashion. So we're not going to be able to show much, but let's go ahead and get into it real fast. So the first thing to know, if you're doing this or you want to dabble into this, is you want to go to hub.docker.com and then kind of follow this URL to get to the specific Docker image. Once again, this is a custom crafted LabVIEW Docker image that we have made sure that we've tried to take care of as many things in terms of the install needs, the features of LabVIEW that you just can take off running. And you should be able to, once again, following your typical Docker workflows, grab this Docker image, kickstart it, get it going, and then once again, transfer whatever files you need into it, and then run whatever operations. So what are some of those things that you might need to know about that? So within here, you can see that we've got, once again, we're using the latest LTS version of Ubuntu. We're including LabVIEW core tools like VI Analyzer, and it gets through other CLI-based tasks. And as for those of you who have tried to do this before, and like, hey, what did you change in LabVIEW to make it work headless? One of the things that we've done is we've enabled this underlying Windows kind of mimicking or mock server underneath it to facilitate, and this is windowing, not Windows per se, to make it be okay running in a headless environment. So a lot of, once again, little things that I had noted in there. And so, of course, the common use cases are doing headless LabVIEW operations and making sure that that works all right. So once again, I could go deeper into this, but I'm definitely no Docker expert. If you're also, a lot of people out there are not necessarily doing software engineering tasks with LabVIEW, but for those of you working in organizations that need to have software supported for a long term, and you want to have good software engineering, you probably want to start investigating this to do, once again, those typical common tasks, whether it's accepting pull requests, running merge reports, and things of that nature. Like I said, there's a lot of things that could fall into this. I'm definitely no pro in that aspect. But once again, a lot of time was spent to make sure that LabVIEW can run in a Docker container completely headless without issue. So if you run into this, if you experiment with it, please let us know what's working for you. Let us know, what missed the mark that you needed as well. It is our first foray into trying to get a Docker image and making sure that LabVIEW can operate in this completely headless fashion. And so we want to make sure things can fit the bill. For those of you like myself that are more Windows folks out there, you do not get a Windows Docker that does this. This is only a Linux implementation. And so you have to take into those other considerations of how you're going to, what operations you're going to be using this Docker container 4. But it is enabled, it's available to you, and we're looking forward to getting your feedback on how it's improving your workflows or how it's making a difference for you and what features you'd also like to see. I'll see you in the comments, and I'll see you in the next videos. Thanks.